The scientific worldview, which is not to be acquainted with science, right, has generally pushed towards a flat ontology, which is inverted Neoplatonism. It thought it was nominalism, but it's actually inverted Neoplatonism, where only the bottom level is real, and everything above it is progressive illusion as you get farther and farther away from the bottom. So the problem you get with that is, on what basis do you make the claims about the bottom level? I make it on the basis of science. But science doesn't exist at the bottom level, and the scientists don't exist at the bottom level. We don't have a scientific explanation of how we generate scientific explanations. If that level of human beings generating theory and argument and making measurements is illusory, then it doesn't actually give you any truth about the bottom level. So you need this level to be as real, and there's mathematical proofs. And if you want more on this argument, I've given 2 talks recently on levels of intelligibility, and this is why I think late Neoplatonism that has reality is simultaneously emerging up and emanating down, and is not flat, is central. Now, the degree to which we don't pick up on this reorientation of our ontology is the degree to which the vertical dimension that the rituals and symbols are trying to call us to will necessarily fall on deaf ears. Because if there's no way in which our worldview can respectably, right, accommodate, authorize, legitimate the vertical dimension, what is it these symbols are doing? They're just part of an upper level illusion, and whatever they're pointing to is itself, there's nothing there. There's no real call. So, like, when I talk about a worldview reattunement, I mean, the worldview has to change, and we have to change, and we have to get it back. And yes, we need the rituals and the symbols, but if you don't have a conformity theory, if you don't, you need an ontologically deep notion of strong transcendence, in which transcendence is not just psychological improvement, but a disclosure of being and a new capacity for knowing that is not possible at a lower level, right? And so we have to get that back, and it requires us understanding that those truths are only available through transformation, transcendence, but that the ritual symbol side has to have something it conforms to in reality that makes, because if not, it's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor, and there's no strong transcendence there. There's only a weak transcendence of, well, it's sort of psychologically cleaner for me, or it's more effective, or I can communicate better, and blah, 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 blah. But if you want to say, no, there is a level there's ontological disclosure, and there's a new kind of knowing that is really being afforded by the ritual and the symbol, then the worldview also has to change. So we and the worldview have to change so a real conformity theory is possible, so that the vertical is real again. And I think there has been an ongoing performative contradiction around the flat ontology.
Like social Darwinism is a great example, where it's like, this isn't a philosophy, right? This is science. This is just science. The Marxists had a very similar approach, where they said, no, this isn't ideas, this isn't a philosophy, it's just science. I think a lot of the things that happened during COVID looked like that. They would tell us they said exactly that. They said, follow the science. What the hell does that mean? Follow what? What are we following? Follow the science. What are we following? No, we're not. You can't follow science. And so it was a cover for virtues and values and attunement, ways to attune, and so whether it's effective or not, we created all these weird ritual ways to check on each other, to make sure we're all in the same world, we're all kind of participating in the story, but it was all used with this strange cover of telling us this is just science.
There's all of this performative contradiction, and I think things like scientism were a way of trying to, like, Levi-Strauss, and you've got the contradiction, and you try this thing that sort of masks the contradiction. So I think a lot of this was masking performative contradiction with the kind of stuff you're talking about. And I think what you're talking about when you're trying to wake these people up is you're trying to give them a clear instance of a performative contradiction that then, but you have to do it right because they can compartmentalize, because human beings are made, like Eichmann, human beings can compartmentalize in extremely powerful ways. So you've got to wake them up to a performative contradiction in this that wakes them up to the whole system of performative contradictions.
Yeah, some people, it seems like it's, and you've seen those conversations. Some conversations that I've had where it's just impossible, right? Someone standing, someone that I find is very smart and intelligent, telling you, science is the highest value, and just saying, like, you can't say that. Like, you're invoking hierarchy, a religious image into your description of science, and it's like, you could say that, and then it's like, look.
No, but did you just say, did you generate, no, you do this. Did you generate that proposition scientifically? And the answer, if they're honest, is no, I didn't. And if they're dishonest, they'll try and some finagle. And it's clear that they can't make that. There's no scientific process that would lead to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Because, like, what would you? I ran an experiment on science, and against all the other things, that was the clear independent variable that best explained it. But it doesn't make any sense.
The inverted Neoplatonism, that's really good. I'm really going to think about that. I think that's a really helpful insight for me to understand some of this long story of modernity.